Hello, everyone. Today we will be talking about flip-flops. And also, when I see you in class, we will be reviewing the words that we did in the past couple of weeks. But today we will be talking about flip-flops. What are flip-flops? They are 拖鞋哈。好, let's begin. The flip-flop is the simplest shoe on the planet. It consists of a piece of rubber, plastic, leather, or woven material in the outline of a foot, with a strap holding the sandal to a wearer's toes. This is a description, a 形容 of the flip-flop. If you don't have the of course, you can visualize it. If you know a flip-flop is 拖鞋, then you know what it looks like. But it describes to you how it looks like. And it says that it consists of, it is made of. When something consists of something, it is made of something. Well, it is made of a piece of these different materials. You have to know: rubber, 橡皮, plastic, 塑胶, leather, 皮, or any woven material, any sort of 缝织的 material 材质. So this really highlights the importance of knowing 单字. If you know more vocabulary, then you wouldn't have any problems with this, right? So first of all, it is made of a piece of these things: rubber, plastic, leather, or woven material in the outline of a foot. So this is a foot. I have a foot here. Yes. And then the outline is 它的外围, in the outline of a foot, right? So in other words, it's saying that a 拖鞋 is just a piece of something made, oops, I'm going the wrong way, made in the outline of a foot. The outline, okay, the line on the outside, okay. All right. It's really hard to draw when the left and right is kind of turned around. Okay, so it consists of a piece of rubber, plastic, leather, or woven material in the outline of a foot, with a strap, right? With a 带子, a strap, okay, holding the sandal to a wearer's toes. So notice these vocabulary for everyday things, 平常的东西, you have to try to remember them, okay? The name comes from the sound sandals make when they slap the walking feet. So when you walk with sandals, and then the sandals, when your foot comes up, it hits your foot, making that slapping sound, and that's why it's called flip flop. That's according to whoever named it, that's what it sounds like. It sounds like flip flop, and that's why it is called flip flops. Okay. All right. The earliest record history. Okay. Now, first of all, I need to say that record, you have to say record. When it is a 名词, you have to say record. When it is a 动词, you say record. Okay. So record here is the history, the 记录, right? The earliest record. So record, not record. Okay, record. So the earliest record, that history of people wearing the flip-flop comes from Egypt, but many ancient, very old, like Chinese culture is very old, Egypt, Greek, Romans, right? Yes, many ancient, very old cultures had their own variants. Okay, what's a variant? A variant is a different kind. Here we see that there are two words that mean exactly the same thing. All right, let me go on. So, but many ancient, very old cultures had their own variants, different kinds of the footwear, of flip-flops. In the Greek version variant, so version and variant is the same thing. It is exactly the same meaning. In the Greek variant, different kind, right? The toe strap, the strap, the 带子 that goes on the toe. Wait a minute, I have flip-flops. I can show you. The toe strap, here's the toe strap, okay? In the Greek variant, the toe strap, okay, ran between the first and second toes, while Roman sandals had the strap between the second and third toes. Okay, so if this is my foot, and so the Greek variant had the strap in between the first and second toe, and the Roman version had the strap between the second and third toe. Okay? The Roman, that's right, okay. The Mesopotamians, whatever you guys call it in Chinese, okay, right. The Mesopotamians wore the strap between the third and fourth toes. In India, toe knob sandals had a knob between the first and second toes. So those are the sandals that we wear today. Notice they, right about here, here, about there. What color should I give it? Let's give it pink. Okay. Here they changed the name from flip-flops to sandals. In other words, we know from here, see, sandals, flip-flop. So we know that they are 同义字. So flip-flops are sandals. Okay? S-A-N-D-A. Okay, good. All right. They changed the name from flip-flop to sandal, which I'm glad because flip-flop is hard to say. Sandals easier. Okay? All right, remember that. Okay? Right? So there are many different kinds, variants, and versions. Okay? Yeah, okay. Modern flip-flops come from Japan, okay? Right? Derive means come from, okay? All right? Derive from or come from, I just say come then, okay? Modern flip-flops come from Japanese zoris, which were often worn with socks, dividing the big toe from the rest. Dividing the big toe from the other toes. It's talking about the socks, not the sandals, okay? Right? Worn with socks, dividing the big toe from the rest. Okay? You've all seen these socks, right? Okay? And the word typically means usually, made of rice straw. Okay, it was made from the straw, and then they weave it together. This is an instance of this thing called the woven material, right? 缝织的 material, right? Well, this is an example. A woven material, woven rice straw material, right? Okay. So usually made of rice straw, typically usually made of rice straw. During World War II, Japan seized much of Southeast Asia's rubber. Okay, so during World War II, Japan took over much of Asia, and then Southeast Asia, and then took the rubber industry, right? Rubber. Remember, long ago they made rubber by using the trees, a certain kind of tree. Okay. In 1945, devastated, destroyed. Okay, devastated means destroyed. Okay, because they lost the war, right? So in 1945, devastated from the war. In other words, destroyed by the war. If you use the word destroyed, you have to use the word by. Okay. So in 1945, devastated from, destroyed by the war, the country set about establishing a cheap industry that could rebuild its economy. The Japanese used their rubber reserves from the war. So what is the rubber reserves? They took lots of rubber from other countries, and when they lost the war, they still had some 剩下来的. Okay, so reserves are what is left. Okay, so reserved is what is left. What is left? 剩下的, right? Leftovers. I guess you call it leftovers. I don't know. Okay, so they took their rubber reserves, what was left. Okay, they used their rubber reserves from the war to mass produce. Here's an interesting word, a review. Look at the word mass produce. Do you remember? Produce on a massive scale, right? To produce on a massive scale, to mass produce. Okay, the simplest of Japanese footwear. Rubber, thus here means therefore. 因此 Rubber, thus, therefore. Getting more and more vocabulary words, but that's okay. Take it easy, a little bit at a time, right? Okay. Rubber, thus. I always do this. Rubber thus replaced rice straw as the major material for the flip-flop. So remember, Japanese sandals used to be made from rice straw, that woven material. But because of the war and they had lots of rubber, they used rubber instead, and thus giving us our modern sandals. In the 1950s, flip-flops became popular in the United States as soldiers returning from occupied Japan brought Zoris home. All right. So why did they call it occupied Japan? Well, because Japan was occupied by American soldiers. So 被占领的 Japan, right? Occupied. Right? Occupy is the 占领. And then 被占领的, right? From occupied Japan. Okay? 被占领的. Oh no. 被占领的. That sounds right. Okay, good. All right. So, from occupied Japan. So the soldiers from America, because they were stationed and they occupied Japan, and they came home after the war to America, and they brought home the sandals, okay, the flip-flops. The sandals have subsequently undergone redesign, often appearing in bright colors in line with Californian beach culture. Okay, right? So here we're gonna have more words. Okay, in line with means associated with, right? Yes. 让你想到 to be in line with, right? To be connected with Californian beach culture, right? Girls in bikinis and so on and so forth. Okay. Sorry. Subsequently means later on in later on in the history. Okay, later on, subsequently. I didn't want to do all of them, but because all these words are important. Maybe I'll eventually stop doing this because if I keep doing this, I'm just going to get more and more vocabulary words and then never have time to review them. Okay, so the sandals have subsequently, later on, undergone redesign, often appearing in bright colors, in line with, associated with Californian beach culture. They have remained popular due to their convenience and are often worn with bathing suits or summer clothing. Some people also wear dressy versions for more formal occasions. Right? So, in other words, there are formal sandals. You can wear sandals for formal occasions too. Okay, right? That is the nature of fashion. Okay, all right. So, but then watch this. Despite their popularity, they are popular. I'm wearing sandals right now. Flip-flops provoke, 引起 some questions. Provoke has another meaning which means 挑逗. We will talk about that in class. Okay, so provoke as in Mary hit John because he provoked her. Okay, he provoked her and that's why she hit him. Right? So Mary hit John because she provoked her. But that is the meaning of 挑逗. But here provoke means 引起, as in something provokes questions. All right? So for example, like the vaccine provokes, 争议, controversy, because some people have died from it. So provoke, right? Okay. All right. So despite their popularity, flip-flops provoke, 引起 some questions. Okay. They're simple design. So wait, I'm jumping ahead. So in other words, provoke has two meanings. Okay. So there's provoke 1 and there's provoke 2. Okay. And we're doing provoke 1 now. Okay. Provoke 1 is to lead to questions. And provoke 2 is to goad someone into doing something. Okay, so there are two meanings of provoke, just like there are two meanings of commit that we will talk about when we review. All right, so provoked some questions. Their simple design is responsible for many foot injuries. Okay, all right, so for example, a friend of mine, he actually had at home he was wearing his sandals and his children were not careful and had a nail, like a 钉子, on the floor. He stepped on it and it went through the sandals into his foot. That's not good. That's really, really disgusting. Anyway, so their simple design is responsible for many foot injuries. Another issue for the suitability of exposing feet on the street and places other than the beach, right? Yes. So when you're wearing sandals, your foot is exposed, is 露出来的, huh? Right? Yes. 露出, right? Huh? Let's do that. Expose. 露出. Yeah. So of 露出 your feet, exposing your feet, in other places, right? On the street and in other places. Both that is, again, a safety issue and maybe there's some cultural issues too, right? But even more serious is their environmental impact. And here it is, the most difficult question. Millions of plastic discards. Things thrown away. Why is it things thrown away? Well, this is the reason. Check this out. Let me change it to black or blue because this color is really bothering me. Watch this. Because the word discard is a 动词. So if I say, I discarded my sandals. So I threw away my sandals. I discarded them. And then I use the word discard to 描述 the things that I threw away. And I use the 复数 discards. Right? Yes. This is a relatively new use of the word. Okay. So to use discard as a, which is a verb, and to use it as a 名词 to mean garbage. Okay. All right. Discards things thrown away. In other words, garbage. Garbage. Okay. Discarded end up in landfills. Okay. Garbage dumps. And I'm talking about the big garbage dumps, you know, like it looks like a mountain, you know, that's called a landfill. Okay, a landfill, because they dig a hole, they put the garbage inside, and they fill it up, and they bury it in the land. It's called a landfill. In landfills, okay, or the ocean, releasing chemicals, and at the same time taking centuries to decompose. And to decompose is to naturally break down. Okay. Naturally break, B-R-E-A, break down. Okay, to, you know, break down in nature. Okay. All right. I couldn't give you this over the line, but you can do it right now. Okay, which one of which culture most likely created sandals shown on in the picture? So look at the sandals, look at the toes. Which culture do you think these sandals come from? All right. Why is the footwear discussed in the passage called flip-flop? Why is it called flip-flop? Okay. You have to know where in the passage the answers are. 43. Which of the following is true about the modern development of the flip-flop? Which is true? Modern flip-flops originated from Indian toe knob sandals. Americans love the Japanese flip-flop because of its bright colors. Rubber became the major material of the flip-flop before World War II. The sandals American soldiers brought home from Japan later became modern flip-flops. All right, which of the following is not mentioned as a concern of wearing the flip-flop? Which is not a concern, a worry? Okay, personal health, poor quality, social appropriateness, and marine pollution. Which of these is not mentioned as a problem of wearing flip-flops? I doubt, because we have so many vocabulary words, I don't think we will be doing this, but if we have time, we can go on to the next reading comprehension. Okay. All right. This has been a long video, a little bit longer than I liked, than I would like, and so try to, you know, try to pick up some of these words, and you know, there's just lots of words in English, and you just have to learn them. Okay. All right, guys. Thank you for watching. I will see you soon.